You eat breakfast every single morning. But what if that very first meal of the day is quietly stressing your kidneys, without you realizing it? At first, nothing feels serious. You feel a little heavier after eating, a bit more tired than usual by mid-morning. A few weeks later, swelling lingers longer. Your body feels slower to clear fluids. Bathroom patterns begin to change, subtly, and months later, lab numbers start shifting. Creatinine creeps up. GFR slips down. Not suddenly, silently. This isn't bad luck, and it's not just aging. It's pressure, daily pressure, starting with breakfast, because for stressed kidneys, the first meal of the day determines how hard they have to work for the next 12 hours. But here's the good news. Breakfast doesn't have to damage your kidneys. In fact, when chosen correctly, it can do the opposite. Today, I'll show you 4 simple breakfasts that help flush toxins, reduce inflammation, and support kidney repair, without fear, confusion, or complicated rules. And one of them is already in your kitchen. Most people just eat it the wrong way. Breakfast, number 1. Boiled eggs, the clean protein, 550 words. Most people with kidney problems hear one warning over and over again. Be careful with protein. And slowly, fear sets in. Fear of eating the wrong thing. Fear of making lab numbers worse. Fear that every meal might be causing damage. So many people start doing the same thing. They cut protein too low. They skip breakfast. Or they eat the same bland, unhelpful foods every day. But here's the truth. Most people are never told. Protein is not the enemy. Dirty protein is. Your body needs protein every single day, especially your muscles, especially your immune system, and especially your kidneys. Without enough high-quality protein, muscle mass drops, albumin levels fall, weakness increases, and recovery slows down. That's where boiled eggs come in. Eggs are one of the cleanest protein sources your body can get. They provide complete protein, meaning all the essential amino acids your body needs to repair tissue and maintain strength. And here's why that matters for kidney health. Not all protein creates the same amount of waste. Red meat, processed meats, fried meats. These create heavy metabolic byproducts that kidneys must work harder to filter out. Eggs don't. Egg protein is efficiently absorbed and used by the body. Less waste, less strain, less pressure on already stressed kidneys. That's why eggs are often recommended even for people on dialysis. They help maintain albumin levels without flooding the bloodstream with toxic byproducts. But this is where most people make a mistake. They eat eggs the wrong way. The problem isn't the egg. The problem is the yolk load. Egg yolks contain phosphorus. Not dangerous on their own, but too much, too often, can add unnecessary stress. One yolk contains roughly 80 to 90 milligrams of phosphorus. That doesn't mean you should avoid yolks completely. It means you need to be smart. The safest strategy is simple. Use one whole egg for nutrients and balance. Then add extra egg whites for clean protein. Egg whites contain almost pure protein, very little phosphorus, no potassium concerns, and virtually no sodium. This gives your body what it needs without overloading your kidneys. Preparation matters too. Boiled eggs are ideal. No oil, no frying, no hidden fats, and most importantly, no salt. If you need flavor, use black pepper, garlic powder, fresh herbs. These add taste without adding sodium that forces kidneys to retain fluid. What you eat eggs with also matters. Pair them with kidney-friendly options like white toast or sourdough. These are lower in phosphorus additives compared to many whole grain breads. You can also add low potassium fruits on the side. A handful of berries works perfectly. This combination does something important. It gives you steady morning energy, prevents muscle breakdown, and reduces the urge to snack on processed foods later in the day. And here's something many people don't realize. When you start the day with clean protein, your kidneys don't feel rushed. They don't get overwhelmed early. inflammation stays lower, and filtration becomes more efficient throughout the day. This isn't about eating more. It's about eating right. A simple boiled egg, prepared the right way, can quietly support your kidneys instead of stressing them, and that makes it one of the safest, smartest breakfasts you can choose. Now let's move to the next breakfast option, one that works in a completely different way. Breakfast number 2, wholesome oatmeal, the gentle cleanser, 550 words. When people hear oatmeal, they usually think of one thing: a boring breakfast. Something bland, something you eat only because you feel like you should. But for stressed kidneys, oatmeal isn't boring at all. It's strategic. One of the biggest mistakes people with kidney issues make in the morning is starting the day with foods that spike blood sugar, sweet cereals, white pastries, sugary spreads. At first, everything feels fine. You get a quick burst of energy. Then an hour later, fatigue hits, inflammation rises, and your kidneys are forced to work harder just to restore balance. This is where oatmeal works differently. Oats contain a special type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, and this fiber doesn't rush through your system. It moves slowly, gently, steadily. That matters because slow digestion keeps blood sugar stable, and stable blood sugar means less inflammation. For kidneys, inflammation is a silent enemy. It increases oxidative stress. It damages delicate filtering structures. And over time, it accelerates kidney decline. By calming inflammation, oatmeal reduces daily pressure on the kidneys without medication. But not all oatmeal is the same. This is where most people go wrong. They grab instant oatmeal packets, the kind that looks healthy on the box, but inside they often contain added salt, added sugar, and phosphate additives that kidneys struggle to remove. These hidden ingredients cancel out the benefits. The safer choice is simple. Choose old-fashioned rolled oats or steel-cut oats. Nothing fancy, nothing instant, just real oats. Preparation matters just as much as selection. Cook oats in water, or use unsweetened almond milk or rice milk. Avoid dairy milk if phosphorus levels are already elevated. That extra phosphorus adds unnecessary load. For flavor, skip salt completely. Use cinnamon, nutmeg, or a dash of vanilla. These spices improve taste without stressing the kidneys. Now let's talk toppings, because this is another trap. Many people add bananas, raisins, or dates. They seem natural, but they're high in potassium. Instead, choose blueberries or thin apple slices. They add sweetness. Without pushing potassium levels too high. This combination does something important. It keeps energy steady through the morning, reduces cravings later in the day, and prevents the blood sugar crashes that lead to fatigue and overeating. There's another benefit most people overlook. Oatmeal supports gut health, and your gut plays a bigger role in kidney health than most realize. A healthy gut improves toxin elimination. It reduces inflammation signals sent to the kidneys, and it improves nutrient absorption, meaning your body uses what you eat more efficiently. When digestion improves, kidneys don't have to compensate as much. That's why people who eat oats consistently often notice less bloating, less heaviness, and more stable energy. This isn't about forcing yourself to eat something bland. You can make oatmeal warm and comforting, or light and refreshing. What matters is consistency. When oatmeal becomes a regular part of your mornings, kidneys get a break, inflammation stays lower, and daily filtration becomes smoother. It's not dramatic, it's not instant, but it's powerful. Because kidney repair doesn't come from extremes, it comes from gentle, daily support. Now, let's move to the next breakfast, one that protects your kidneys in a completely different way. Breakfast number 3, blueberry smoothie, the vessel protector, 550 words. When most people think about kidney damage, they imagine something big, something sudden, something dramatic. But that's not how kidney stress actually begins. It starts small, inside tiny blood vessels, so small you can't feel it happening. These microscopic vessels are responsible for filtering waste, balancing fluids, and keeping toxins moving out of the body. And when they become damaged, everything slows down. Blood flow weakens. Waste lingers longer. Inflammation rises quietly. This is where blueberries become powerful. Blueberries are not just healthy fruit. They are one of the most protective foods for the delicate blood vessels inside the kidneys. They're rich in compounds called anthocyanins, natural antioxidants that protect vessel walls from oxidative damage. Oxidative stress is one of the fastest ways kidney tissue deteriorates. It weakens filters, it stiffens vessels, and it accelerates long-term decline. Blueberries help neutralize that stress. They act like a shield, protecting the tiny pathways that kidneys rely on to do their job. And here's why blueberries are especially valuable for people with kidney concerns. They're very low in potassium, less than 80 milligrams per half cup. That means you get powerful antioxidant protection without triggering potassium spikes that many other fruits cause. They're also naturally low in phosphorus, so they don't add extra filtering pressure. But blueberries don't just protect vessels, they also support urinary tract health. Why does that matter? Because infections, even mild, unnoticed ones, can strain the kidneys. They trigger inflammation, they increase toxin buildup, and they force kidneys to work harder when they're already stressed. Blueberries help reduce that risk by creating a less friendly environment for harmful bacteria. Now, this is where most people make a mistake. They hear blueberry smoothie and think all smoothies are healthy. They're not. This is what ruins most kidney-friendly smoothies. Bananas, spinach, oranges, coconut water. These ingredients are high in potassium, and when combined, they quietly overload the kidneys, even if the smoothie tastes light and refreshing. This is known as the smoothie trap. It feels healthy, but inside, it's too much. The safer approach is simple. Use blueberries as the main fruit. Keep the ingredient list short. For the liquid base, choose unsweetened almond milk or rice milk. Avoid dairy if phosphorus levels are elevated. Now here's a trick most people don't know. If you want thickness without potassium, add frozen cauliflower. It sounds strange, but it works. Frozen cauliflower adds creaminess and volume, without changing the taste, without raising potassium, and without stressing your kidneys. You can also add a small scoop of egg white protein powder if your diet allows it. Clean protein, low phosphorus, and kidney friendly. What does this smoothie do over time? It supports smoother blood flow, reduces oxidative stress, and helps kidneys filter more efficiently. People often notice less heaviness, less pressure, and better morning energy. Not because the smoothie is detoxing aggressively, but because it's protecting what matters most. Kidney repair doesn't start with flushing harder. It starts with damaging less. And that's exactly what this breakfast does. Simple, gentle, protective. Now let's move to the final breakfast. The one that requires the most precision, but offers powerful benefits when done right. Breakfast number 4. Bread with avocado, the precision choice, 550 words. This breakfast is different from the others, not because it's more powerful, but because it requires precision. For some people, this meal can be incredibly supportive. For others, it can quietly add stress. And that depends on one thing: your kidney stage. Bread and avocado are often praised as healthy, whole grains, good fats, heart-friendly choices. But when kidneys are already under pressure, healthy foods still need limits. Let's start with why this meal can help. Your body needs steady energy in the morning, not sugar spikes, not heavy fats. Complex carbohydrates from bread provide that energy. They release glucose slowly, keeping blood sugar stable. And stable blood sugar matters for kidney health. Spikes increase inflammation. Inflammation increases filtration stress. And over time, that accelerates kidney decline. Avocado brings something else: healthy, monounsaturated fats. These fats support heart health, and heart health and kidney health are tightly linked. When the heart pumps efficiently, blood reaches the kidneys smoothly. When circulation improves, kidneys don't struggle as much. That's the benefit. Now here's the risk. Both bread and avocado contain potassium and phosphorus. Not dangerously high, but enough to matter if portions are uncontrolled. This is where most people go wrong. They eat too much avocado. They choose the wrong bread. And they add salt on top of it. Slowly, potassium builds. Phosphorus creeps up. Fluid balance becomes harder to control. But this meal doesn't need to be eliminated. It needs to be adjusted. Start with avocado. Limit it to 1/4 of a medium avocado. That keeps potassium in a safer range, roughly 125 to 175 milligrams. Enough for benefit, not enough to overload. Next, the bread choice. Whole grain bread is often recommended, but many brands contain phosphate additives that kidneys struggle to remove. If your phosphorus levels are high, switch to sourdough or white bread. These are often easier on the kidneys when chosen carefully. Always check labels. The word phosphate is a red flag. Now let's talk flavor, because this is another hidden trap. Salt seems harmless, but sodium forces kidneys to retain fluid. Instead of salt, use lemon or lime juice. It enhances flavor without increasing fluid retention. You can also add volume without minerals. Sliced cucumbers, radishes, lettuce. These create fullness without adding potassium load. This meal works best for people in earlier CKD stages, or those with controlled potassium and phosphorus levels. And when it's used correctly, it provides steady energy, heart support, better circulation. But here's the key lesson. Kidney-friendly eating isn't about avoiding foods forever. It's about matching food to your current kidney capacity. This breakfast teaches control, awareness, and balance. When you respect portions, your kidneys don't have to compensate. And when kidneys don't have to compensate, repair becomes possible. That's the power of precision. And that brings us to the most important takeaway of all: how these breakfasts work together to protect your kidneys every single morning. Conclusion: calm control, real protection. Your kidneys don't fail overnight. They don't suddenly stop working without warning. They respond to daily pressure, small choices, repeated habits, and one of the most important of those habits is breakfast. The first meal of the day sets the tone for the next 12 hours. It determines how hard your kidneys have to work, how much inflammation builds up, and how efficiently toxins are cleared from your blood. That's why breakfast matters more than most people realize. The 4 meals you've just seen work for one simple reason. They reduce pressure instead of adding to it. Each one focuses on the same core principles: less metabolic waste, lower inflammation, gentler filtration. Boiled eggs provide clean protein without overwhelming the kidneys. Oatmeal stabilizes blood sugar and calms inflammation. Blueberries protect the tiny blood vessels kidneys depend on. And bread with avocado, when used carefully, supports circulation and heart health. None of these meals are extreme. None require expensive supplements. And none demand perfection. They work because they are repeatable. And that's what kidney repair really needs. Not detoxes, not harsh cleanses, not fear-driven restriction, but consistency. When kidneys are given the same supportive environment day after day, healing becomes possible. Inflammation eases, fluid balance improves, and lab numbers often stabilize before people even realize it. But there's one more thing that matters. Individual needs are different. Kidney stage matters. Lab values matter. Potassium, phosphorus, and protein tolerance are personal. That's why these breakfasts should be adjusted, not blindly copied. Use your lab results as a guide. Work with your dietitian when possible. and pay attention to how your body responds. Because the goal isn't to eat perfectly. The goal is to eat intentionally. Every supportive morning choice sends your kidneys the same message. You don't have to struggle today, and over time, that message adds up. If this helped you understand kidney-friendly breakfasts more clearly, let me know. Which one of these meals feels easiest for you to start with? And if you want more simple, practical ways to protect your kidneys and stay strong as you age, make sure you're subscribed. Because the right information, at the right time, can change everything. Stay consistent, stay aware, and take care of your kidneys, one morning at a time.